Hello, World Blitzers. It's Littlefinger. Hey, we are the middle of February 2022, and it is time to do the full tank review here on the Titan T150. You can see this is a Tier 6 heavy tank, EU nation. Obviously, it is a reskinned T150, which once this T150 was taken out of the tech tree, it became a rather rare tank. There are some big differences between these two tanks, and we will go over them in this review. But as you know, Operation Field Test, halfway through the month, $5 gets you 3,000 gold ish, and two tanks, including the T150. So, very good deal. We're going to go and analyze this tank and review its gameplay and let you know how I think it stacks up against other Battle Pass tanks. But first, let's run through the setup. Repair kit, multi-purpose, and adrenaline. Field rations, improved fuel, and tinned food. And then we've got 52, 20, and 18. Keep in mind, our pen is not very good, so we need to make sure we're carrying a decent amount of APCR. As for equipment, I think probably the most controversial decision I am making here is to go with gun rammer. As you can see, we have high 140 pen on this, which is not great compared to its peers at the tier. But I am making a decision to try to improve my shots per minute, thus my damage per minute. So I have gone with the gun rammer to out DPM other tanks. Defense system, improved optics, enhanced gun lane drive, enhanced armor. Again, this tank doesn't have super great armor, so I could see an argument for getting those 72 additional hit points, but for now, I have left it on enhanced armor. Engine accelerator, refined gun, toolbox, and consumable delivery system. And let's just see, I have played 15 battles, 87% win rate, just under 1,600 average damage. So the average damage I would like to see a little bit higher, but again, we have an 85 millimeter gun that doesn't do a lot of damage. All right, so we're going to compare the Titan 150 to the T150 and other Battle Pass tags, the Magnus, Eraser, and Thunder. Right off the bat, you'll see 1743 damage per minute is the highest, but our pen at 147 is the lowest, and we are only doing 200 average damage. We only have an 85 millimeter gun, which is why we have such a fast reload and low damage numbers. All of the other tanks have much bigger guns on them. You would think, though, that that would translate into better dispersion, but again, doesn't really come into play just because you're going to be frontlining this tank and your opponents should be rather close up. 7 degrees of gun depression, which is decent, not great. 10 would be great. 35 kilometers per hour top speed is good. Power to weight ratio is okay. Doesn't feel that bad of a tank to drive, however, so take that with a little bit of grain of salt there. What I want to point out here is 150 turret armor, 90 on the hull. And we can see that as we switch over to Armor Inspector. Weak spot is going to be the cupola here, 90 millimeters. As we get further to the outside, the effective armor is going to increase. We've got a big spaced armor here over the gun mantlet. 100 mil on the cheeks, which equates due to the slope here at 211. Of course, as you turn that, you're going to get a different effective number, right? Obviously, the more you turn this perpendicular, the more it becomes closer to the actual thickness. As for the hull on this tank, you've got 90 millimeters on the top here. This is a nice sloped area, equating to about 204 effective and 90 on the bottom. If we go over and look at the pen, this is being shot at by a T150. You're going to see that, you can do a little bit of angling with this, kind of hide this cupola up top as much as possible. It's really difficult, though, to hide this upper plate. You can start to angle the tank a little bit here and just make it a little bit more challenging to get those pens in. So there you have it, the armor on the Titan 150. All right, guys, so let's put this tank into action here on Port Bay as bottom tier supremacy match. They've got Annihilator, SU, T-28, Tiger as their top tier tanks. This is going to be a very close battle. I'm going to call out C and hopefully get some support. And you'll see that the tank does a fairly decent job of accelerating here. It's definitely not the quickest of the heavy tanks, but it has enough mobility. The one thing I think that really stands out the most on these three battles is the aim time. You really have to be patient with this gun, which is a little bit disappointing since it should be more accurate as it's only an 85 millimeter gun. We take that first shot there. Ticker Max bounces, and I'm just trying to angle up this and show just that front part of the turret, which you saw in the armor inspector as being so strong. It's really the strength of this tank, even if you can face hug other tanks, and you'll see that in this battle. Pushing in on the P-43, and now where did that shot go? We'll get that kill. We've got an SU behind us, as you heard. They're taking out our VK. And look at the red there on the ARL. And like I said, you will need a fair amount of APCR, especially if you use the setup that I have been using. Unfortunately here, we are just messing around with our angling. Was trying to side scrape off that building, but just did not have enough room to back out. And so we pulled forward a little bit too much and got shot by the ARL. Now, just kind of waiting to see what this ARL does, hoping that my team will take that SU out. I noticed that the ARL has shot and tried to shoot the side cheek. Does not work. So I'm going to switch over to APCR here and take my shot and pull forward as I reload. And as you saw, that draws the shot of the opponent into the building. Now, my friend the Annihilator, we have just tracked the guy in place, and he takes all three shots and doesn't pen a single one of them. Now that the ARL is looking at the Annihilator, I can switch back to AP. Annihilator gets the kill. And it looks like we're in a pretty good position here, except they've got Annihilator. And our Annihilator is not a very strong player. For some reason, I thought that was a building that I could shoot through. It was not. T-28 is going to come down, and he is just going to wreak havoc on our poor Annihilator. I'm like, dude, I just need you to land one or two shots here. Just get in there, get a shot in. APCR anywhere? No. Okay. Annihilator is taken out here. And it's just now me. It was a 3-on-2 situation. Now it's a 1-on-2 situation. Can't really side scrape in this tank. Not meant for that, really. But like I said, if you get face hugged here, we can bounce those shots. We're just trying to block his gun and keep this game a little bit closer at 980, 985, 990. We set them back to 950. But it's not going to matter. Annihilator's going to put HE into us and take the kill. 2,800 damage, though. We did all that we could, really, on that game. And you saw we spent a lot of APCR, yet we still end up with 10,000 credits. Uh, yeah, just not a lot of help from our top tier tanks there. All right, so let's move on to top tier on Oasis Palms. The Titan 150 has the high definition graphics, so you're going to see the sand in this map, the snow on the winter maps accumulate on the tank as the battle progresses. Not something I really recognize in battle, but it's kind of neat to watch it here on the replays. See if we get some good team movement here to all come up into the same corner. Games seem to work a lot better when you get team cooperation. Trying to stay on the outside. We don't want to get people on our flanks. Got a lot of Triari in this battle. Again, another important thing is to know the clans and to know who are the more solid players, who you should worry about protecting, and those you shouldn't. And quite honestly, one of my rules of thumb on that is that if you're not putting camo on your tank, hey, it costs so very little. Granted, it doesn't have a huge benefit, but there is still a benefit. I am not going to protect you. And I think good players know that they should be running camo. So, looks like we only found one guy up here all by himself. Rest of the team is now gone into town. And if there's one thing on any of these maps, being in the hills is so much more advantageous than being behind buildings. Getting hull down is so much better than trying to side scrape off of the buildings. Sitting in cap is, again, not a very good idea. You can see this poor Titan Mark 1 here going to have a very difficult time petting me. And you'll notice just how long that aim time is from when we stop moving to when we're able to shoot. And that shot didn't even go accurately. Okay, we've got a leopard up to our left. Going to focus on him. As again, I don't really want to push into a position where I'm likely to have crossfire. Want to be able to try to keep the front of my tank towards all of the enemy at one time here. And Leopard's going to make a run for it. Not sure why he didn't try to shoot me on his escape here, but we get an opportunity to put HE into the backside. And with our max roll there, get the kill shot. 3-on-3, and now you're going to see the difficulty of this tank penning other heavy tanks. Nice shot on the move, though. We've got this KV here. Does not pen. Really focused on this KV here. Have a shot on the TD down there for a kill shot, but don't take it. And we've missed a couple shots now on the KV. We're trying to just angle it up, hoping that he doesn't get a nice big max roll and kill us. For some reason, he decides not to even shoot. We take him out. Another 2K battle game, and you'll see the tank can bounce shots quite well. We got steel wall here. We got defender. A couple zeros on the team. And the only assistant damage there. So another solid run in the Titan 150. And the last battle here is mines. Just looking at the lineup here. I still think the best strategy on this is to take the hill in the middle. However, meta is changing, and you'll see a lot of heavies go towards the cap circle. However, if you can control this hill, you really control the map. We've got a VK and Cromwell already up top, which is really good. And I'm not seeing anybody really push. They've got some guys on the other side of the hill there. So, you know what? I decide to make a push for it myself and get up the hill. I'm just going to drop adrenaline here. One more shot into the T21. And I'm thinking I can get HE into the butt. And he turns and I forget to switch back, which would have been a kill shot. Instead, we have to reload again. And here comes the Shinobi. Interesting play. Interesting play indeed. So now we've got control of the map. We really have control of this game. Nice roll. I should have got the kill there, but P43 bounce. We bounce each other, actually. Now, you'll notice here that I don't just pull straight forward because there's still 2 tanks unaccounted for. And there is one of them. And even though I don't play this well and I get shot by him twice, I could have been in a lot worse of a situation had I pulled all the way down there and not had this rock here for my cover. And he's going to show us just enough to get a shot on the side. Hellcat's pushing in. 2 tanks left. BDR's hiding behind the rock here, so I'm going to turn around and focus on this VK on the other side. So, in summation, guys, this is a decent tank. It is not one of the top Battle Pass tanks, in my opinion. We've had the AMXmas tank. I really enjoyed the Agent tank, which I've really enjoyed. I would probably say I prefer the Magnus and the ARL BP over this. Not to say that this isn't a good tank, as we get the ammo rack there for the kill. So, some fun little battles here in this tank. It is a little slow. Pen is on the bad side, but outside of that, everything else this tank does pretty darn well. So, with that, guys, that concludes the review of the Titan 150. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And of course, get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger, out.